Let's talk about effective communication. What works. Now, and let's put this in a context of PERMA, which I think is a useful one to think about here. Remember that PERMA emphasizes the importance of positive emotions, engagement, positive relationships, meaning, and accomplishment in terms of um, happiness and well-being. So we're focusing here on the relationship piece, which may also then have, lead to a sense of meaning and positive emotions. We can sort of imagine each of those pretty easily. So a good listener feels and communicates empathy while withholding judgment, strives for authentic and honest relationships, ones where they're what they say and what they believe is congruent. They're treating others as equals with worth, remaining open to other viewpoints, and are honest, open, direct, and clear. Sounds easy, harder to do than just this quick description seems. We're trying to attend fully to the speaker. So for example, if I pull out my cell phone and am texting while talking to you, you're probably not going to think that I am really attending to you. A good listener understands the speaker and communicates that understanding to the listener. And so we are both trying to be empathic and communicate that understanding so that the other person really gets it. We're trying to be authentic, that we're consistent verbally and non-verbally. And we're sharing our time and space with the speaker. It's not that one person gets all the time and energy and the other person gets none. Notice how this doesn't really happen in this cartoon. Jeremy, who's I think 15, says, "Oh wow, did you just get a haircut?" And his dad said, "Last Wednesday." That long ago. I guess I don't look directly at you very often. Now, exactly when did you get glasses? When I was 17. Jeremy's probably not the best listener. We want to communicate it, and we want to make sure that the other person hears it. It's not just what we say, but how are we non-verbally communicating that we are listening? And we want to be as clear as possible about that, because other people may, for a variety of reasons, not be as convinced that you're really listening. Maybe because of something else going on in their lives, maybe because of their core narrative, that they have a difficult time believing that other people believe in them. Daniel Goleman has talked a lot about emotional intelligence, which I think is very useful in this context. So, an emotionally intelligent person is self-aware. They're paying attention to their own emotions, their thoughts. They're able to assess themselves well. They're able to be confident in their interactions, which leads them to be able to be more socially aware and empathic with others, and to manage their own feelings well. They're able to be transparent and adaptable across contexts, and maintain a good initiative. These skills, both in social awareness and self-management, allows them to manage relationships more effectively, to inspire others, to develop other people's strengths, to influence them, to help them change, to manage conflict, to build bonds, and to collaborate with others well. Obviously, these are important skills in a whole variety of contexts. And so that's part of the reason that in this course I keep emphasizing reflection and building a variety of skills that will transfer in a variety of other kinds of settings. We've talked about Carl Rogers before, so I'm going to only quickly comment here that we want to avoid judgment. That's that unconditional positive regard. We want to be accepting. We want to be empathic. We want to be genuine and congruent, authentic in our relationships. And that when those things happen, we are much more effective listeners and speakers. So let's focus a little bit more on empathy right now. Part of being empathic is being able to ask, how might I feel in that situation? What if it were me? But I think another part is to be able to say, what is it like from the other person's perspective? And so we need to recognize that although I see 6, you may see 9, and vice versa. And that's a much more difficult kind of skill. You know, I might in a particular situation, because of my skills, interests, and values, perceive the world in a particular way, and you might perceive it in another kind of way. I assigned Azar Nafisi's short piece, and I think for our purposes in terms of thinking about empathy, you know, she says it's not just being politically correct that allows us to empathize, you know, with a child left orphaned in Darfur, or a woman taken to a football stadium in Kabul and shot because she's improperly dressed. Only curiosity about the fate of others, the ability to put ourselves in their shoes, and the will to enter their world through the magic of imagination creates a shock of recognition. Without this empathy, there can be no genuine dialogue, and we as individuals and nations will remain isolated and alien, segregated and fragmented. So from my perspective, you know, that curiosity, our ability to put ourselves in their shoes, and the will to enter their world through the magic of imagination is what allows us to be empathic. Think about empathy as seeing their world, appreciating them as human beings, understanding their feelings, and communicating that understanding. So if we understand but don't share what we're thinking, then the other person isn't going to recognize that we are being empathic in this situation. So how do we communicate that empathy? I think first we're going to listen and understand from the other person's point of view. And we have to communicate that understanding well. Only when they feel understood can you share your viewpoint. So you don't want to jump ahead, and you don't want to push your ideas on the other person until they feel heard. And when the message is difficult, we have to go especially slowly. I've posted this video. It's actually a segment from a TED Talk by Brene Brown, but it's been animated, and it's a very useful description of empathy, and very sweet. So from our critical thinking model, we're going to be observing others carefully, thinking about what shoes they're in. And that's going to be part of what helps us to be empathic. What are their values and how do their values differ from ours? Recognizing that there's more than one way of thinking about things, recognizing how their context, their culture may be different from ours. And that ability to reflect on these things helps us to become a better listener and more emotionally intelligent. And take care. Bye-bye.